What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Big Dumb Monsters. I am Chris.
And I am Nick.
And this week, we find ourselves pleasantly surprised. Our choice, we picked as an ironic, oh, this is going to be terrible. Let's pick it and watch it. Turned out to be not horrible. I mean, not the best movie I've ever seen, but was
Not
entertaining.
Yeah.
It's definitely not the worst movie we've ever reviewed. I'll say that.
And it's barely even a monster movie.
Yeah. But the name of the movie is Silent Rage, starring American icon. Wow, that's a new word.
Yeah. American
icon and treasure is what I was trying to say.
Well,
Chuck Norris.
Yeah, he's the best.
Yeah. It's billed as a monster movie. In the research, was the director who was saying I wasn't influenced by monster movies.
He said he was influenced by Frankenstein.
Yeah. He says he was influenced by Frankenstein. None of that shows up in the final project. It very much plays what was the one that The Rock remade?
Excuse me?
There was a 70s action movie, Walking Tall.
Oh, Walking Tall, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of in that vein of movie, the southern badass sheriff, kicking ass.
Yeah.
It's
Walking Tall, but with Halloween.
It's Walking Halloween, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we hope you enjoy it. This is Big Dumb Monsters, talking about Silent Rage.
Enjoy the show. It's not a shitty movie.
Yeah,
it's a shitty horror movie. It's really not even a horror movie. It's like a thriller.
Yeah.
But it's also a really ineffective Halloween knockoff.
I'm not sure if they were going to knock off Halloween, or this is very similar to Michael Crichton's The Terminal Man, which I think the book came out in the mid-70s.
Yeah.
And there's a movie maybe in 78 or 79.
I don't know, man. I got major Halloween vibes off of it.
Yeah. To me, it seems like there were two competing movies going on.
Okay.
You have the one movie with the sheriff and then the bikers, that whole thing going on.
Yep.
And then at the same time there just happens to be this scientifically jacked up fucking super killer kind of roaming around.
Yeah. I was hoping they were going to play kind of a Frankenstein angle on that, but it wound up being just a super soldier serum kind of thing.
Yeah, he was basically Wolverine without the claws, pretty much.
Yeah.
And the adamantium skeleton.
Yeah.
Oh god, this scene in the beginning where he kills the two people in the house, and the first person he kills is the dude who sneaks up on him with a chair.
Yeah.
And he just taps the chair on him,
he bonks him in the forehead with an axe. Yeah.
Yeah, and the guy turns around and his face is all bloody, so you can tell that that makeup was already on there when he went up to him with the chair.
Sure it was.
Because he had that side of his face covered. Oh, God. And then, he kills the woman in the room when she could have easily just gone out the window.
I was screaming at the TV, get out of the fucking window. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. She waits until the very last second to try to go out the window. She's in that room for maybe a minute or so.
Yeah.
Where she could have just gone straight out the window and would have been fine.
Coulda, shoulda, didn't. Got murdered. Oh, man.
I'm frustrated because I wanted to hate this movie so much. I really did. But it's not that bad. It's not laughably bad,
no.
The Room or something like that.
It's fairly effective in what it's trying to do. It just happens to not be very original.
Yeah. I was even thinking, like, this is kind of like Terminator-ish, but, like, it's 2 years before the Terminator.
Yeah. I could have used more of the, like, action-y, like, sci-fi element instead of, like, the Chuck Norris going on dates element.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a little more than I wanted.
Yeah, 2 gratuitous sex scenes.
Yeah.
Featuring Chuck Norris.
Hey, man.
I mean, like, the one was like, okay, this is a bit much, but, like, hey, I guess they're trying to sell some tickets. Let's put some boobs in the movie, you know?
Yeah.
And then the second one was just like, we've already got her. She's willing to take her clothes off, I guess. Let's get another one.
Do it again.
Yeah.
And this time we're going to, like, hang out in a tree fort and...
Yeah. They were, like, having, like, half-naked dates for, like, a whole day. They were just, like, taking a walk around the property, like, fixing an old engine.
I was watching this with Shelly, and I was like, why does this woman not have pants and he does not have a shirt? Like, and they're just wandering around outside.
Chuck Norris was also conspicuously shirtless in the hospital scene.
Yeah.
Like, right in the beginning after the whole, like, initial thing.
I think it's hilarious how much of his body hair he has gotten rid of to do shirtless scenes in movies now. Well, not now, but, like...
At this time.
Yeah.
Because he was in what? It was a Game of Death with Bruce Lee, I think?
Yeah. And he was wearing a fursuit.
Yeah, he's basically a Wookiee.
Oh, it's a hairy man. Oh, you know what? We didn't really recap this movie. Give the synopsis.
Yeah, this week we are watching a film. We have to also explain how we got to this movie.
Yeah.
We're watching the film, the movie. I'll pull up on the term film.
It is a film.
Yeah. We're watching a movie called Silent Rage from 1982. As far as a plot, well...
It has one. It's just shaky.
Yeah. It's just kind of disjointed. Like you said, like I said before, there's this, it starts off, we see this guy who's already a little bit crazy. He calls his psychiatrist and, he's like, I'm going crazy.
Yeah.
And he does. He ends up killing 2 people. And then Chuck Norris shows up, like this, badass. I don't know if it's a Southern sheriff, but like he's got the cowboy hat on.
He's in Texas.
Okay, I didn't know if they established that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like the movie just kind of goes off on a tangent, like on 2 different tracks where, Chuck Norris thinks this killer is dead, but then there's these doctors doing experiments on him. And then Ron Silver, who is a psychiatrist, somehow is in on these like super soldier experiments.
Yeah, I think that thing was like he was a surgeon and then he started delving into psychology or something like that. And
okay.
Then he was more like a therapist instead of a surgeon.
But while that's going on, like Chuck Norris and his goofy deputy Stephen First are just like mixing it up with like this biker gang.
Yeah.
And there's like a whole like B plot with the biker gang, like them, arresting them and getting into a brawl with them.
Yeah, and some of that is necessary, but it's not to the degree that they had it. They were there just so Chuck Norris could clear out a bar.
Yeah, we need a fight scene. Like, how do we get one in here?
Yeah, because otherwise he's just wandering around doing cop stuff and then fighting this super mutant late in the film. So,
but still, like they could have put more. Like, I don't know.
It could have been more cat and mouse for sure.
Yeah. Like, it was really weird to me that it just went off on those 2 tracks for a while.
Yeah.
And then like Chuck Norris does eventually come back to the super killer story.
Yeah. I'm with you. It was 2 completely separate stories until they meshed in Act 3.
Yeah.
I do like the interaction between all the doctors. We've got this experimental formula, blah, blah, blah. Might as well use it on this guy who has like a really what do they call him? They said he has like the internal organs of a 20-year-old, and he looks like he's in his 40s or whatever.
That was after they gave him the serum. With that scene where they say that, it's after, like, he hasn't like woken up yet, but it was after they do the thing where they're cutting into his chest and it's like sealing up.
Oh, I thought they mentioned that before they give him the serum.
No, it was after that.
But either way, because like the dude, he's a normal dude, and he kicked the door off a fucking police car and broke his handcuffs. Yeah, there was never any
explanation for that. He's strong enough to break his own handcuffs and kick the door clean off of a cop car.
I think it's supposed to be like crazy person strength.
Okay.
And then they just want to play into that or whatever. But yeah, like the whole thing with their drama, it's like, we shouldn't be doing this. Well, I'm your boss, and I'm telling you we're going to do this, and we haven't tested it, and obviously, who better to test it on than this guy that everybody already thinks is dead anyway? Like, I understand how they got to that point, with that particular character being the one that gets the serum. But it's like...
And the actor who plays the crazy guy / super killer is like the poor man's like Ron Perlman. He's like,
yeah. I was thinking he kind of looked like if I had to combine two people to make this guy, it's Nick Cave and the guy that played Kaneki on Grease.
I would have gone a young Tom Waits and Ron Perlman, like current Ron Perlman.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely got the early Tom Waits mouth.
Yeah.
His friggin' horse teeth.
Like I said, I wanted I wanted this movie to be so ridiculously bad, but it wasn't.
It really is not. Like,
Not that it was good, though. It just wasn't, like...
Not soon, but I could find myself watching this again at some point.
Really? That's an extreme statement right there.
There's got to be, like, slim pickings for anything else available. But I could not get over how much that lead surgeon is not Tom Atkins.
Yeah. Oh, he would have been perfect for this role.
Oh, Tom Atkins would have been amazing in that.
Yeah. Who want our surgeon to be a little, like, boozy and, like...
Just a little.
Yeah, definitely down for some dirty shit with a filthy girl.
That's Tom Atkins for you. That man never got the respect he deserves.
I mean, I will say I did just watch Halloween 3 again recently, and like I honestly haven't seen that movie, and I couldn't even tell you how long. Like,
are you gonna start answering?
I was a kid.
Are you gonna start answering the phone with "Thrill Me"?
Thrill me. That movie is not bad. Like, I understand why people don't like it. Like,
people don't like it because it's not Michael Myers.
Michael Myers.
Yeah.
So I do understand why people don't like it, but like again, if you just change the name, like, it's not a bad horror movie. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it deserves a lot more respect than it gets because it's a well-made horror movie. It's just not Michael Myers, so people didn't even want to like give it a chance.
Yeah.
Fucking losers.
Yeah, I love that this dude like initially survives this shooting. Like, he's fucking eating bullets like it's the end of the fucking 99 Problems video. And like he's still alive at the hospital, like, right before they up until they give him the medicine, like, he dies right before that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's got a little bit of a weird premise, but it's not the worst I've ever seen.
Yeah, I was expecting so much worse.
Yeah, like,
especially. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say from like the taglines and everything like that, the way they sell this movie, I thought it was gonna be like, this guy died and then science, made a monster out of him, but really they just injected him with some shit that made him mute and immortal. So it kind of fooled me.
the one doctor, like who brings out like the special serum, the one with like the glasses, and the one who's like kind of in charge.
Yep.
Looks like this dude I went to high school with.
Does he really?
And I will tell you, everything you need to know about him by saying he drove a Monte Carlo. Looks just like that dude. I can guarantee you that dude is not a surgeon.
Yeah.
Maybe some sort of
a pharmacist.
No.
No.
No, definitely a manual laborer.
Oh, yeah.
No offense against it. I'm not trying to work shame anybody.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah. But yeah, this we should say how we came about this movie. We literally just randomly picked it based on the thumbnail.
Yeah, I believe what happened was we were trying to find something else to watch after recording one night, and we were intoxicated.
Most likely, yeah.
Possibly. And it
definitely.
Yeah. And we saw Chuck Norris and the tagline for it and just wrote it down. And then immediately forgot all about it.
But it's been on our board for a while, like fucking looming. I've been dreading watching this movie.
Yep. We almost didn't watch it this week.
God damn you, Tubi.
Yeah. Tubi pulled it out on us. Yeah, because I searched on my Fire Stick the title of the movie and it didn't come up. I was like, I remember seeing this. We had originally
seen it on Prime, yeah.
Yes, I know I've seen this title within the last week because I wanted to make sure it was still available. And I was like, oh, maybe I saw it on Tubi. Searched Tubi on its own, and there it was. So I texted that to Chris, and his immediate response was, God damn it.
Not that our next because we have like a couple of theme shows coming up.
Yeah.
For like Valentine's Day, President's Day.
Yep.
So our next non-themed movie, I think, would have been
Ghosts of Mars.
Ghosts of Mars, yeah, which I know for a fact is also going to suck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So like,
it shouldn't, but it does.
Yeah, like at least it would have been a newer, shitty movie. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's an Ice Cube vehicle, so.
Ice Cube in space.
Ice Cube in space, but it's got the John Carpenter pedigree, and I want to say Gerald Brom, the artist, did some of the character conceptualization for the aliens. All those things don't necessarily make it a good movie, but we'll see.
Yeah, again, like we're griping about this, but honestly, I if I had to watch this or the stuff,
I'm picking this all day, all day.
It's kind of jarring too, like how different fight scenes were back then. Like now, we are so used to like hyper stylized, like where like scenes where like there's stuntmen who've like specialized in this specific martial art like all of their life, and like it's like shot perfectly, and like this one it's just like like Chuck Norris like kicks some dudes a couple of times, like throw some dudes around.
What was actually throwing me off in the fight scenes was I realized that there's a lot of vocal work in fight scenes these days. These are silent. Like, he's not talking to anybody. He's not throwing out one-liners. Nobody's really talking back. It's just
fighting, and the only sound you hear is like the
and I mean they're grunting or whatever. They're going, like that kind of shit. But the quips and the one-liners don't really happen, which is kind of nice, to be completely honest. Refreshing. Like it feels like a real fight. Like nobody's really going to be shit talking.
Not a lot of hypercuts either. Not a lot of like jumping around. As far as the scene goes.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they had like the 10,000 cameras, all focused on one shot like they kind of do these days.
Yeah. I will say, like, you know, I don't want to shit on the like the karate totally, but like in the bar scene, fucking Chuck Norris was just booting dudes in the face.
Yeah.
If they like quick, like 3 kicks, like right in the face, like bam, 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 like that's fucking difficult.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Well, a lot of it too was like he didn't do that much karate in this movie. It was more like basic, like brawling. Like he was like street fighting.
Yeah.
Which was refreshing. It's not just roundhouse kicks.
Oh god, gratuitous sex scene number 1. Chuck, you're so hairless. Oh god, she elbows him right in the face.
Yeah.
Like, bam.
Yep. You hurt me. My feelings.
Emotionally. Yeah. Oh, that's what it was, my feelings.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh god, so awkward.
Yeah, it really is. But what are you gonna do? Other than sit back and enjoy the movie. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say it's like a victim of its times because it's 1982 for fuck's sake. Like there was advanced, you know, like action movies out, and there were, you know, incredible horror movies out. This just it kind of fell flat on both ends.
Yeah, this feels like a kind of like a leftover of like the 70s kind of like Billy Jack type of like action movie, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, this was only Chuck Norris's 5th movie, but he had taken over as like this was under his production company, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah, I did notice the name, and like, oh, that had to have been like him.
Yeah,
I don't remember
Top
what
Kick.
it was, but
Top
what
Kick.
was it?
Top Kick.
Yep. Yeah, there you go.
So I mean, like, he's finding his footing as like more than just the Karate Guy actor. So I'll give him a little bit of leeway there, but it should have been better.
When they go to the diner there, when they first encounter the bikers,
at the end, like, when he walks out, when he throws his when he throws his foot a mile high up onto the bumper to show off his cock.
Yeah, I hadn't gotten there yet. But, like Stephen First is supposed to be like the fat doofus, and like they show him eating like what at the time would be like considered an outrageous amount of food.
Yeah, just 2 cheeseburgers.
It's 2 cheeseburgers and like some chips.
Yeah,
which is like, you know, like a normal standard like meal at this point. Like,
yep.
Oh, here they are walking out of the bar.
Oh,
this isn't over. It better be.
Wait for
That's what looked past for like the snappy one-liner in 1982.
Yeah. And that's what he was there for. Stephen First was definitely just the comic relief.
Oh, he was such an unlikable character, though. Like,
you didn't like the character?
Not at all, no.
Really?
He was annoying at first, and then the fucking dog story.
Yeah.
The story about him killing the dog. I'm like, this guy is a
bummer.
piece of shit.
I didn't want to put it in the dryer. I didn't want to hurt him.
So I put him in the freezer. You fuckwad. Like,
you are such a taint.
Yeah, he was the one dude I wanted to die in this movie, and thankfully he did.
You know what's funny? He was Shelley's favorite part of the movie.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Like, the dog story did it for me. I'm like, nope. This guy is a sack of shit.
I think, okay, so I'm watching the movie too, and I'm a little ahead of you. The most fucked up part of this movie, like if you want to try to find like the really fucked up thing, is when he's laying on the table, right? The super mutant guy, whatever the fuck his name was, I can't remember.
It was something like Johnny something.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. It's almost as if I have a movie database housed on the internet.
Some sort of internet movie database?
Yeah. Yeah, with just facts and things on movies. John Kirby, that's it.
John Kirby. Yeah, so he's laying on the table after they give him the serum, and they're talking about, you know, like, oh, yeah, his his healing capabilities are through the roof and whatever, and then he just starts cutting on him with a scalpel.
Hey, check this out. Like, slice. Do it again. Yeah, slice.
Like, that's fucking wild, man. Don't do that.
Yeah, like, I was thinking, I said he's, like, kind of like Wolverine without the claws.
I got a Captain America thing from it.
See, the healing thing was what brought me to that.
Yeah. He's like Deadpool, I guess.
Yeah, Deadpool also. Like, that's... And I was thinking, like, that's really, I think, the most terrifying thing about, like, fighting an enemy like Wolverine. It's, like, everybody's focused on the claws and shit. Like, yeah, it's pretty bad, but, like...
You can't kill him!
Yeah, no matter what you do to this guy, you cannot hurt him or kill him in any way. Like, he's just going to get up and come back at you.
Yeah. I mean, you could knock him out for a minute, but then he's getting right back up and murdering your fat cop friend.
Yeah. And, like, I would like to see, it would be, tangent here. I would like to see, like, I don't know if they'd ever do a movie like that, where, like a horror movie, like, where Wolverine is the bad guy. Because there was a story like that in the comics, maybe, like, oh, Jesus, maybe, like, between, like, 10 and 15 years ago.
Was that part of the series? I know they were doing, like, a blah, blah, blah kills the Marvel Universe, like, they had to Punisher murder everybody.
No. It was around that time, though. Maybe a little bit before all that. Like, maybe this is, like, kind of what spawned that.
Yeah.
It was called Wolverine, Enemy of the State. That's what it was.
Okay.
Was the name of the storyline. And basically, like, the Hand, like, captures Wolverine. Like, they brainwash him. And basically just turn him into, like, a Terminator, pretty much. Like, he's just completely brainwashed.
He more or less is, anyway.
Well, yeah, he has, like, no free will. He's like the Winter Soldier, basically, and, like, in the movie, The Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
They just teleport him into where they need him, and he just kills everybody, and then just poof, like, teleports out.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, and, like, it was, like, at a point where, because they had him just going after, like, all these different, like, superheroes and stuff.
Yeah.
To the point where, like, towards the end of the story, where, like, all of the superheroes are, like, kind of huddled together in a secure place, like, just, like, constantly on watch in case he just teleports in and fucking decides to kill everybody,
Yeah, I mean, the only person that would have a fucking chance would be Magneto.
Yeah. And, like, I would like to see a movie like that. Like, that would be terrifying.
Yeah. I don't think they could get Hugh Jackman to do that one, though.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I'm just going to say, flat out, this movie, 5. Like, it's so middle of the road.
Yeah.
5.
I want to rate it lower, but I really can't. Like,
yeah.
It's, the acting's not the greatest. Like, the story's not the greatest.
If they picked one of those stories and went whole hog on it, it would be much better. Like, if you want to do the action movie, do the action movie. If you want to do the sci-fi horror movie, do the sci-fi horror movie. It's just it's a really weak, watered down combination of the two.
Yeah, maybe this is just the modern, like, capitalist driven thinking, but, like, make 2 fucking movies out of it. Like, you have the one movie where he fights this biker gang, and then the sequel where, like, holy shit, we bring in this super mutant killer, and he's got to fight him next,
Yeah, just drop that character into a bunch of fucking weird situations.
Yeah.
Although they almost made a sequel to this movie, and I think in Nigeria they did make a sequel to this movie.
Well, we're gonna have to put that on the list.
And there's a like a direct to DVD, probably not even DVD. It looks like it was garbage. Like a reboot or a remake of it called Indestructible or something.
Really?
Yeah, that is all the information on those things that I have. So I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use that as a segue. After getting your number, what's your review?
I honestly was gonna go like 4, but I think that's kind of harsh. Like,
yeah,
it's not a bad movie. Like I did find myself like checking the time. Like at one point, I'm like, Jesus, there's still like 40 minutes left in this movie.
You know what?
So I think they.
Thankfully, Tubi has commercials, so that's when I was checking my phone.
yeah. So I don't know. I think it could have been a little bit shorter. But honestly, it's not bad. It's kind of bland, kind of generic, but like,
yeah,
it honestly could have been so much worse.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, it's. I was like planning on like just shitting on this movie, like being so angry that I wasted time on it. But I can't be like.
No, I'm not mad that I watched it.
Yeah.
It definitely didn't ghoulies up the place.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, to put it in, face off with ghoulies, I'm picking this fucking every time.
I am never watching Ghoulies again unless I am forcing somebody else to watch it.
And I don't hate anyone that much
to
do that.
It's like The Ring.
Oh.
All right. So now we're going to segue into IMDb trivia. Unless you've got something else to add.
I do not.
All right. So let's get into this shit.
Not to bother you with trivia.
I used to think they were kind of trivial.
So, in the soundtrack to the film, there's a song. It's The Time for Love. I believe that was playing during one of the gratuitous sex scenes.
Yeah, I want to say it was the second one while they're on the the date montage, the half-naked date montage.
Yep. I don't think you will ever guess who sang that song.
Was it Hoyt Axton?
No.
Oh, it sounded like Hoyt Axton type music.
Katie Seagal.
Really?
Yeah. Peg Bundy herself.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure that she was trying to be a singer before she was an actress.
I want to say she was a backup singer for Bette Midler at some point.
I think you're right. That sounds very familiar.
I want to say she's in like one of her concert movies, like she did from like the 70s or 80s.
Yeah, she's got a good voice.
Yeah,
I've heard her sing some other stuff. Sons of Anarchy
too, I think. Yeah.
She sang Ruby Tuesday.
Okay. So decent singer, great actress too.
Oh, fuck yeah. She needs to be in more movies. She's wasted. She's wasted on TV.
Yeah. Like she could have easily just been typecast as Peg Bundy, like for her whole life. But like she's done, like Sons of Anarchy definitely got her away from that.
Yeah. Although she was perfect as Leela in Futurama.
Oh yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that. Yeah, that's true.
Yep. All right. During pre-production, director Michael Miller did extensive research into genetic engineering and regeneration. He met with doctors at UCLA and held detailed discussions with scientists at the famed Wadley Institute in Dallas, Texas, where interferon was developed. And then I'm going to assume that all of that information left his fucking brain when he made this movie because none of it's in it.
Yeah.
This is made up science at its peak.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah. The biker bar fight scene was shot at famous Dallas hangout Old Blues Bar, frequented by the Texas Rangers baseball team. The production crew spent an entire day there installing special breakaway windows. And the shot of the bike going through the window had to be done in one take. And that fight took over 4 days to shoot.
Oh, wow.
Which is really a lot, especially because that scene lasts, 5 minutes, maybe?
I was going to say, it's a pretty, lengthy, scene as far as fight scenes go. But again, it's that, just kind of, straight up bar brawling.
Yeah, I would have figured maybe a day, 2 days, maybe?
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't get it. Of course, I don't make movies. This is the first film produced by Top Kick Productions. Chuck Norris's production company. This was the first time Norris had complete control over one of his films. The company would also produce Norris's Lone Wolf McQuade, which I fucking love, as well as Walker, Texas Ranger. Yeah, man. Lone Wolf McQuade is so good.
Walker, Texas Ranger was the shit, man, back in the day.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't hold up. I've tried to go back, but...
Oh, I can't imagine that it does.
It's a little rough. I imagine the made-for-TV movie, like, pilot thing that they made would be all right, but...
Yeah, they made a couple of those movies.
Did they? Oh, was it a couple of those and then it became the show?
I think they were making those like every couple of years while the show was going on.
Oh, okay. Because I remember one of them being like when he gets his partner, Trevette.
Yes, yeah.
I don't know. I was a child.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I was 8 years old when that shit came out.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was probably like in 7th or 8th grade or like early high school.
Yeah. This is Chuck Norris's first ever movie role as a Texas law enforcement officer.
All right.
But those previous things that we mentioned, Lone Wolf McQuade, he was a Texas Ranger. Walker, Texas Ranger, he was a Texas Ranger. In this movie, he is a Texas cop. So apparently Chuck Norris has a hard-on for Texas. But he's from like Oklahoma. So I don't get it.
Yeah, I think it was just the like kind of like in the zeitgeist at the time. Like I mean, this is like around when like Dallas is popular on TV and like you just get that whole like people are just into that like Texas
that good
vibe,
old that good old boy vibe.
Yeah.
Here's some fun facts for our horror fans. At one point, Gunnar Hansen was considered for the role of the indestructible psychopath John Kirby, while Tobe Hooper was considered as director. And this would have been their second film together after the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre in '74.
Huh.
I don't know. It could have been weird and good, but definitely weird.
Yeah, it definitely would have been weird, but yeah, it might have been. I don't know, might have been better. Who knows?
I think the horror part of it would have been a lot better. Like,
yeah,
because Tobe Hooper definitely has horror chops, like for days.
The horror aspect of this, really, like it's part of that whole 2-track movie thing, and it almost seems like an afterthought. Like it really just It could have been so much more, but they, like I said, we're in Bikerville right now.
Yeah, it's meh. The name of the medical facility is never revealed in the film's storyline. I don't know if that was just like an oversight or they just didn't care.
Shitty writing, probably.
Yeah. Of course, it's not really important. It just, I think it would have been a good, what's the word I'm looking for? Like,
it just adds like depth to the movie.
Yeah. Like your involvement in it because you know more about the universe or whatever.
Yeah.
Director Michael Miller said the film was not inspired by slasher movies, even though it has several elements associated with popular slasher films of the time, which I'm going to say is a fucking lie. He said, "I'm not a fan of those. When I read the script, I thought it was Frankenstein. That's what I was heading towards. We'll have the mad scientist bringing this guy back to life. Chuck will have to try to apprehend him."
Yeah, I'm calling bullshit on that also.
Yeah, I can see Frankenstein in this 100%, but this is set up like a slasher movie.
Like half a slasher.
Well, yeah, like that. The Kirby elements are slasher.
Yeah, I was going to say specifically the scene where he goes after Ron Silver is almost straight out of fucking Halloween. Where he's watching him in the kitchen.
The shot setups are exactly the same.
Yeah. It's his point of view as he's watching him through the kitchen, like he grabs the knife. Like it is like almost the same exact scene. just put Ron Silver in the place of whoever that girl was.
Yeah. Well, even in that first scene where he kills the lady he was living with, like that's almost like the upstairs shot from Halloween with Laurie Strode.
It's also very similar to the beginning of Halloween where he kills his family. Like,
yep,
he kills his family basically.
Yeah. No, him saying that this isn't inspired by slasher movies is garbage. I don't know if he's just trying to cover up for the fact that he was obviously inspired by it and is trying to have like independent artist cred or whatever, but it's not working. I can see through your bullshit.
I'm almost wondering if, like, I'm assuming Chuck Norris, his like production company, probably bought this script. It probably wasn't written in house, and it was probably like a horror movie.
Yeah,
and like he probably added the cop stuff and the biker gang stuff.
Probably.
Just to get it more into his wheelhouse, I guess, basically.
Yeah.
And like we said before, just to get another fight scene or two into the movie.
Yeah, well, there's always the clear out the bar scene.
Runs the guy across the bar, of course.
Oh, yeah. Classic.
There's the window. Where the guy tries to go out the window on the bike.
Yep.
Just cracks him with a bat.
So filming began in July of 1981 in Dallas and took 30 days to complete. Which I don't doubt.
Yeah, it took 30 days to complete, and this bar scene was 4 of those days.
Yeah. That tells you where their priorities were.
Yeah, it's over 10% of the movie just on the bar scene.
Yeah. And it's a cool scene. I liked it. I was like, yeah, Chuck is kicking ass. And then I realized, like, oh, this is supposed to be like a thriller. All
That's
right.
There's a whole thing with a killer going on at the same time.
Shit. And this is going to be our last IMDb fact here. The stunts were exceedingly complex for the time. To prepare for them, it took associate producer / stunt coordinator / little brother Aaron Norris of Overkill fame and his team days of preparation and hours of rehearsal for a split second of on-screen action. Stunts included truck crashes, falls from great heights, a man being struck from a speeding truck, a man holding on while being dragged from underneath said speeding truck, a 3/4 burn, plus many more fights, knockouts, explosions, and shootings. Like, they did go all out with the stunts on this movie. Like, it was pretty good. Like, for 1982, it had some really good shit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
don't know that I would say they were exceedingly complex.
Yeah, maybe by those times, by 1982 standards, but definitely not by our standards.
No.
I just thought of another horror thing in this movie. The last shot of the movie is the last shot of Friday the 13th.
Oh, yeah, where he jumps out of the water.
It's him leaping out of the water, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
You fucking liar. I wasn't influenced by horror.
No.
Bullshit.
Yep. No, it's only the biggest horror franchises that were going at that point that you have direct references to.
Like, the only thing missing is, like, Chuck Norris having to fight this guy in a dream.
Yeah.
You would have had, like, the big 3 of, like, the horror, like...
Hold on, I gotta check something.
All right.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, them saying that the stunts were exceedingly complex, I don't really get, because Escape from New York came out a year earlier. And that had way better stunts and effects.
Yeah, that's exceedingly complex.
Yeah. Man, that movie's so fucking good.
I haven't watched that in a long time.
You should. Yeah, so that's gonna do it for trivia.
All right. We will move on to our next segment, the better known as as always, we will start off with the director, Michael Miller. As I was watching this movie, I was thinking to myself, this very much feels like a TV movie. Just all of it. I mean, like, just the look, the feel.
Yeah, certain shots are set up.
Even the story.
TV shots, yeah.
Yeah, feels like a TV movie. And Michael Miller has directed 30 movies in total, only about 5 of which are not TV movies. This being one of them.
Ugh. Well, he's more of a producer, isn't he, than a director?
No. He is a director and writer.
Oh.
He's 30 directing credits and 4 writing credits. He has something in post-production right now. Good for him.
I would have assumed he was dead.
Yeah, same here. Like, half of this cast is dead.
Yeah, he's got to be in his fucking, at least in his 70s.
Gratuitous sex scene part 2.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is the other thing I noticed.
With the swing?
No, well, that where they're in the hammock and like they're just out of control swinging and like they're just knocking shit over.
Yeah.
Right before that, they're in bed and they have a tray of food, and next to the tray of food, in the bed with them is a metal bar. It looks almost like a pull-up bar.
What?
But it's got like foam on the end, so I don't know if it's like a double-ended dildo or something.
I have to rewind this because I just passed that scene.
Go back and like right by their feet, there's just a metal bar in the bed with them. Like it looks like
it's all exercise equipment because there was like the hand grips.
Okay,
there's a bike in the bed. Yeah, there she's dragging her foot across this fucking Sasquatch leg.
Yeah. And then like in the bed is just this like pull-up bar.
Yeah.
That was weird.
I think that's... Oh, you know what? That's one of those ones with the spring in the center. So you bend it. It's fucking ridiculous. Wow. Look how fit Chuck Norris is. Oh, well, that's because before this, he didn't have the Nordic track.
Oh, wow. I mean, he actually, like, the biggest thing he probably has directed outside of this, he did an episode of Sliders in 1998, it looks like.
Oh, that's a career high.
Yeah. Everything else is a TV movie.
I mean,
except
there's money in TV, so...
Yeah, hey, I mean, dude made a straight-up career out of doing TV movies, so more power to him.
Yeah.
Of course, moving on to our star, Chuck Norris. I'm sure if you're listening, you are familiar with Chuck Norris.
And if not, then you have problems.
It wasn't Game of Death. He was in The Way of the Dragon. It looks.
Oh, okay. Oh no, Game of Death was. It
was Kareem, wasn't it? Kareem
Abdul-Jabbar. I think that was the one with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That was the unfinished one where he was going up the tower and fighting different people or whatever.
Yeah, it was basically Kung Fu, the video game, except the movie version. It predates that game by like 15 years, or maybe not that much, maybe like 10 years.
Oh, somebody sneezed.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, it was me.
Let's see. Yeah. Some of the bigger Chuck Norris titles you might have heard of: Missing in Action series,
love it.
Lone Wolf McQuade, we mentioned earlier,
love it.
Invasion USA, the Delta Force,
love it.
Chuck Norris Karate Commandos. I remember that cartoon when I was a kid.
Yep, love it.
I had some of the figures. There was only, it looks like, 5 episodes of that series.
Was it really?
According to this, unless Chuck Norris stopped being the voice. But there are 5 episodes.
That's entirely listed. Possible.
Oh,
man.
Yeah, maybe.
Sidekicks.
I mean, like...
Top Dog.
Yeah, 5 episodes, that's all.
Yeah.
Some of the other movies was in Sidekicks, Top Dog. Walker, Texas Ranger, obviously.
Yeah.
We mentioned earlier.
What was it? Hellbound? No. What the fuck is it?
Hellbound. Yeah,
Hellbound,
1994, Hellbound. He played Cordell Walker in another TV series.
What? Was it Pacific Blue?
Sons of Thunder.
Sons of Thunder.
Has not.
I know that name.
Yeah, the name sounds familiar. I'm reading the synopsis, and it doesn't even sound familiar. Detective Carlos Sandoval resigns from the Dallas police force after his partner is murdered, hooks up with childhood chum Trent Malloy, an ex-military martial arts instructor. They become private eyes, and Chuck Norris shows up for like 4 episodes, it looks like, as Cordell Walker.
Well, I want to watch it now. That had to have been on USA. That's got USA written all over it.
Or maybe CBS if he's playing the same character.
Oh, yeah.
His credit for Walker, Texas Rangers, Cordell Walker / Hayes Cooper. So I'm sure he had to fight like his evil twin, Hayes Cooper, at one point.
I remember something like that.
It's in the episode of Ranger Christmas from 1996.
Oh,
and flashback in 1995.
I want to see. Yeah, it was like an Old West. They were telling like an Old West story.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think I do actually remember that now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He has a surprising amount of roles where he's just playing himself. Let's see, obviously Chuck Norris Karate Commandos is one of them. That was in the 80s. 1992 Sidekicks,
yep.
He plays himself.
Yep.
That movie was with Jonathan Brandis, who is no longer with us.
Yeah, rest in peace.
After that, we have Yes Dear, 2003, he plays himself. Dodgeball, he plays himself.
Yep.
The Goldbergs, he plays himself. And he has been on TNA Impact Wrestling as Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
That was in 2020.
I love Chuck Norris. He's another one of those guys where, like, as a kid, I watched a lot of his movies with my grandfather.
Yeah.
My grandfather was into all, like, everybody's tired of hearing this at this point, but action movies, martial arts movies, westerns, like, the vast majority of the shit that I watched as a kid was not stuff that like normally kids would be watching, and not even so much like the content, but just like the genres. You know, like in the 90s, there weren't that many like 10-year-olds watching, 60s and 70s like era action movies and westerns.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chuck Norris was a big part of that.
And of course, everybody loves Chuck Norris facts.
Oh shit, yeah. I survived Barron's chat. I'll let you know.
Moving on, we have Ron Silver, who was I forget his name. Hold on, let me get it. But he was the psychiatrist. He was also in a ton of shit. Also no longer with us. Tom Hallman, that was his name, Dr. Tom Hallman.
Yep.
He has been in movies going back to 1975, it looks like. He was on a bunch of TV shows and a bunch of movies, starting with some of the bigger ones here. The Rockford Files.
He was in a great action flick in the 90s.
That's right.
I'm sure you'll get to.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Rhoda, he was on, it looks like. I thought he was I'm like, oh, maybe Ron Silver was on Murder, She Wrote. He was not, unfortunately.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. Silkwood, he was in. That was with Sally Field, I believe. I don't know, it's Meryl Streep, the nuclear, nuclear power plants are bad movie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God, You Devil with George Burns. Let's see. Wise Guy, the TV series. Blue Steel, which I remember. It was, he was the bad guy in that. Like, Jamie Lee Curtis was like a cop.
I think they were both cops, weren't they?
Was he?
No.
No. He was like obsessed with her or something, wasn't he?
I can't remember. It's been so long since I've seen that.
Hold on, let me click on the thing here. Yeah, a rookie in the police force must engage in a cat-and-mouse game with a pistol-wielding psychopath who becomes obsessed with her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was a good movie. I remember it being really enjoyable.
Yeah, I remember watching that with my dad when I was a kid. Let's see. Moving up the line, Mr. Saturday Night with Billy Crystal. Here we go. In 1994,
that's the one.
He was in the Jean-Claude Van Damme classic.
Yes.
Time Cop.
Fuck yeah.
Doesn't he die in that movie by like being thrown into like a past version of himself, and like because the same matter can't like occupy the same space, like
it's something like that. It's something fucking wild. He basically like I think it's like frozen and shattered. Yeah.
That was a movie that was advertised on the back of comic books, so like it will always be burned into my brain.
Yeah. Terrible. I want to say that also got a terrible video game.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I want to say it's like for Genesis, maybe. Like
I think it was the Super Nintendo Genesis era. So yeah. Love that. Love that movie.
He was in The Arrival. That came up a couple episodes ago.
I got to tell you, like he's had pretty much the same look through his whole career. Feathered hair, full beard, and he went from one era where that made you like the kind of dopey good guy to being the douchey bad guy, and then
and
back.
He just evolved with the times. Yeah. Let's see. He was on Veronica's Closet for a while in the 90s. It was a sitcom with Kirstie Alley. Some Thursday night must-see TV back in the day.
Buff.
He was in the Muhammad Ali movie, Ali. He played Angelo Dundee,
his
famous trainer in that. Yeah. And after that, Law and Order, Trial by Jury, The West Wing he was on, Original Flavor, Law and Order, Crossing Jordan, which is another NBC cop show. And then he passed in 2009.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah. Moving on, Stephen Keats, who was the one lead doctor there.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you. Well, yeah, I mean to interrupt you. Another tie-in to Halloween is this stupid fucking jumpsuit that he's wearing.
Yes! Yeah! He's wearing like a coverall jumpsuit.
Yeah.
Like the silver jumpsuit, like he's from the future.
Yep. Yeah, it's not scientific unless they're wearing a tinfoil running suit.
Let's see. His first movie was in 1973, The Friends of Eddie Coyle. I want to say Ken Reed brought that movie up when he was on our show.
I think so.
For Night of the Living Dead, yeah. After that, he was in Death Wish. I'm sorry, before that, he was in Kojak, playing Danny Zuko.
Get out of here.
That's the credit. Danny Zuko.
There must have been something tied in with Grease.
Yeah. After that, it was Death Wish, 1974.
Fucking love that
with
movie.
Charles Bronson. The Streets of San Francisco, also 1974. That was a cop show with Michael Douglas. Get Christie Love, The Rockford Files.
Is it just me, or did Charles Bronson look at least 50 for most of his life?
Forever. Yeah.
He's
Starsky and Hutch.
Hard-looking dude.
This dude was making the rounds in the cop shows. Barnaby Jones.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously Silent Rage, 1982, Knots Landing, Cagney and Lacey, The Love Boat, Quincy. So this dude's all over like network TV in the 70s and 80s. The A-Team, Hotel, The New Mike Hammer, Riptide, Simon and Simon, Hardcastle and McCormick, Hunter, The Fall Guy. This dude is all over like 80s action cop shows.
Those are the most like bomb-ass TV shows too.
Yeah. The 80s Twilight Zone he was in. But the thing we are all here for, in 1985, he was in 2 episodes of Murder, She Wrote.
No shit. Same character or different character?
Different character, same year.
Wow.
He played one. Yeah, his name was Stefan Conrad. And in the next, his name was Dr. Victor March. Continuing his march through. Jesus Christ, this dude's everywhere. T.J. Hooker, Moonlighting, Magnum P.I., Hill Street Blues, Miami Vice, Falcon Crest, Freddy's Nightmares, Matlock, Life Goes On, MacGyver, All My Children,
which actor
Law
was
and
this?
Order. This is the dude who played the lead doctor. The guy I said look, the guy I went to high school with. His name is Stephen Keats.
Yeah.
Yeah. The most famous actor you've never heard of, apparently, because I guarantee you he was in something that you watched.
Can you imagine making like millions of dollars off TV appearances?
Yeah. This dude was everywhere. But they're mostly like one-offs, so like
Yeah.
he's probably making scale for a lot of them.
Yeah, probably.
Moving on, Toni Kalem. She was Chuck Norris's love interest. I'm trying to nail down her name here. It was the same last name as Ron Silver, though, I can tell you that much.
Yeah. Because they were brother and sister.
Yeah, Allison Hallman. That's her name. She's also kind of here and there on some shows. Kojak, Beretta, Starsky and Hutch, Policewoman, Private Benjamin. But the thing she is probably most well known as, she played Angie Bonpensiero on The Sopranos. She was Big Pussy's wife.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, the whole movie, I'm like, why does she look so familiar? Like,
Yeah.
I know I have seen her somewhere, and that's who she was, yeah.
No shit.
Angie Bonpensiero. Looks like she's only in 11 episodes, but I think there's only maybe less than 50 episodes of that show, so.
Sopranos? Yeah, she doesn't come up too much. Like, you see her, spoiler for anybody that, hasn't seen The Sopranos, she comes up maybe twice after they kill him.
Yeah, the last time you see her, she's working at a supermarket.
Yeah.
Because, her husband's gone and she's not raking in that big mafia money anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, Angie Bonpensiero. I'm like, I knew she looked so familiar. Okay, moving on. William Finley. He was the other doctor with the secret formula there.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. Was he? Okay. Why are they showing him? For some reason. Oh, okay. Okay, that's why. Yes. The thing he is probably most known as, he plays the Phantom in Phantom of the Paradise from 1974. That was
I don't even know what that is.
It's like a disco rock version of Phantom of the Opera.
Oh. Oh no.
Yeah, I want to say Paul Williams did all the music for it. That was in 1974. It's one of those things if you saw the getup that he wore in that movie, you might recognize it. It's pretty recognizable.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. The only Phantom thing that I watched a lot was Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park.
Where I think it's Paul Stanley is just straight up played by a black guy throughout the whole movie.
No, that was Ace Frehley in
That's what it was.
in some of the fight scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yep. I don't know how many times I watched that as a kid, but it was a lot. It was definitely a lot.
Let's see. Some of the other notable actually, there's not really a whole lot of notable things. He was on an episode of Tales from the Crypt, Till Death Do We Part, which sounds very familiar. Let me see.
I don't know. There were a lot of scorned husband episodes of that.
It's exactly what it is. John Stamos is in it. A young gigolo and a husband of a female mobster. Wait, okay. He is both of those things. Those are not two people. Okay. He is the young gigolo / husband of a female mobster. Excuse me. Begins an affair with a nightclub waitress, and the two plot to overthrow the gangster.
Oh, that's dumb.
Yeah. There's nothing supernatural about that. Why the fuck is it Tales from the Crypt?
Well, because they would do just like horror stories. Like
This looks very familiar.
There wasn't always a supernatural twist. Sometimes it was just like, here's a fucked up murder.
Robert Picardo was in it also. He came up in one of our episodes. Oh, also starring Frank Stallone.
Bad actor, pretty good guitar player.
Past guest of the show, Tom McWaters. Blocked on Twitter by Frank Stallone.
Get out of here.
Oh shit, I just dropped my mouse.
What did he do?
Frank Stallone had posted like a shirtless selfie like in his bathroom. This is like within the past year, maybe.
Oh, gross.
Yeah. And like Tom, I forget what he said. He commented on something like, maybe sitting there like, "Oh, it's getting sexy in here" or something like that. Like, boop, blocked. It wasn't even that bad what he said to him, but it was just like clearly made him uncomfortable enough to block Tom.
Yikes.
All right. Let's see. Anything else on this dude's IMDb before we move on? By anything else, I mean it's their Murder, She Wrote. Not his last thing he was in was The Black Dahlia in 2006. I don't remember being a big fan of that movie.
I don't think I saw it.
I'm pretty sure I did.
Maybe.
I had to have because I was working in a video store around then. And I saw everything.
Everything.
Moving on to Brian Libby. He played John Kirby. This dude has also been quite all over the place. Mm-hmm. Where are we? Let me head back to the beginning. Just doing my due diligence here. Okay, His first role was 1976. After that, he's on the Rockford Files. I think it's the third time that showed up on this episode. He's in Little House on the Prairie, Dallas, BJ and the Bear, Chips, Dukes of Hazzard, the A-Team, again, like all over the 80s action, Riptide.
Hell yeah.
Haftermash. The new Mike Hammer, Moonlighting, The Fall Guy, Twilight Zone, 80s Twilight Zone again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Max Headroom.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. Werewolf, the TV series, Action Jackson, LA Law, Hunter. So a lot of the same, like, a lot of these people were all over, like, 80s network TV.
Yeah.
He was in Heat. Okay.
The De Niro movie?
I believe so. Let's take a look. Yeah.
Captain
Jackson.
That's a fucking amazing movie.
Yeah, I have not seen that movie in a criminally long time. It is a great movie. If you haven't seen it, definitely go out and check it out. He's in The Shawshank Redemption, Eraser.
Yeah.
He was like the first. Sorry, go ahead.
In Shawshank Redemption, he was
Floyd.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like the crime that he did.
I don't remember. I remember Eraser. That was like the first movie where like the first like Arnold Schwarzenegger action movie. Where like, maybe I'm getting a little tired of this.
Yeah. I don't think there was much of a plot to that one. I mean, obviously,
I just remember like
Schwarzenegger.
There was like an action scene with like alligators in it at one point. They were very badly like robotic alligators, if I remember.
Oh, really?
Correctly. And he had like the rail gun at one point too, where like the bullets like left like circles of smoke as they like went by.
I saw it exactly one time.
Yeah, I think I did also. He's on Walker, Texas Ranger. After that, he's in Air Force One, The Green Mile, and then his last role was The Mist in 2007. Looks like he's still with us, so there's still hope for more, I guess.
Yeah.
Moving on to that bag of shit deputy played by Stephen First. I really did not like him.
Bag of shit is a little harsh, though.
Oh, you know what? This one credit right here justifies the bag of shit comment.
Oh, okay.
In 2003, he was in Christmas Vacation 2, Cousin Eddie's Island Adventure.
What
Fuck
a bag
that
of
guy.
shit.
He is probably most well known as Flounder in Animal House.
Yep.
Which that movie has not aged well, but I still love that movie.
I never really got into it. Like, I've seen it.
Really?
I've seen it a bunch of times and kind of chuckle at it, but I don't know. It just not for me, I guess.
I got to interview Mark Metcalf, who was Niedermeyer in that movie, like the head ROTC guy.
Yeah.
He was the master on the first season of Buffy.
He was
also
he was the guy from the Twisted Sister videos.
Yes, yeah. He was the dad from the Twisted Sister videos. He was also the maestro on Seinfeld. And one of the things I'm proud I got to talk to him about was one of my friends who will be a guest on an upcoming show. He's like, when we talk to him, make sure you tell him that, like, in the 80s, he was the face of, like, the man. Of, like, the thing you were, like, rebelling against, like, your parents, like, people just, like the MTV generation, the thing you were rebelling against was, like, he was that guy.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, he was so proud to hear that. He was like, oh my God, that's so great. Like, he's like, I love hearing stuff like that.
It's 100% true, too. Cause, like, he's always an authority figure.
Yeah, exactly. What do you want to do with your life?
I want to rock.
I want to rock. All right, back to Steven first, though.
Yeah.
He was also on the Delta House TV series, which I heard was terrible. Which is the TV version of the TV spinoff of Animal House.
Yeah. Well, that would have to be like so watered down to be on TV.
Yeah. To be on TV in 1979, you can only imagine like how much humor was just sucked right out of that.
Yeah, it's basically Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah. Let's see. Aside from that, I mean, he was all over the place for a while. Newhart, Chips, the Jeffersons. He's in the Twisted Sister I Want to Rock video. He's the principal in that video. Alf Loves a Mystery TV movie. Oh my God, I think I remember that.
I don't.
Where Alf was like a private detective, like solving basically like an episode of Murder, She Wrote with Alf.
I know that I've seen Alf in that like classic Private Eye getup.
Yeah, I think that's where that's from.
I don't think I've seen that.
He was in 97 episodes of St. Elsewhere. 1983 to 1988. He was on MacGyver. His name was Dr. Cosby, Kozby.
Yikes.
He was on Night Court. He was a voice on Bobby's World. But the thing we are most interested in 1990, he played Sergeant Paulson on Murder, She Wrote.
Yes. We got a twofer.
Yeah, we've got at least a twofer for the Monster She Wrote this week. Glad to see that's back. Was it last? Did we have nothing? Oh, no, we did have it last week.
We had Keith
the
David
week
last
before.
week.
The week before was when we didn't have it.
Yeah,
well,
that's because the week before was Destroy All Monsters.
Yeah. Foreign, so technically doesn't count.
Yeah.
Let's see, any other big things you might know him from? Just going through.
Probably not.
He's just like the guy, you're like, oh yeah, that guy. Like, I've seen that guy.
He's just the fat, dopey guy.
Yeah. I could have sworn he was the dude in Friday the 13th Part 5, I think. Where it's the one where, like, there's the killer who's not Jason, it's just like a dude.
Oh.
Yeah, like he's like chopping wood at one point, and like he's the guy who comes over and is like bothering him, and then like he just fucking kills him with the fucking axe, like right there. I remember that scene scarred the shit out of me when I was a kid. Just once again going through, making sure I'm giving him his due diligence. He's been dead a long time, though. Actually, not a long time. He's been dead since 2017.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's 5 years.
Okay, moving on. Stephanie Dunham. She was Nancy Hallman. She was Ron Silver's wife.
Ah, yes, the painter.
Yeah, she's the one who gets her head smashed against the wall.
Yeah.
By the killer. I'm going to cut right to the meat of this. In 1987, and again in 1996, she was on Murder, She Wrote.
Oh, that must have been one of those made-for-TV movies.
No, maybe it was like the last season.
No, because I'm pretty sure the show ended in 93. I think the run of the show was 80,
season 12,
86?
episode 19.
What?
Yeah.
Have I been living a lie? I could have swore the show ended in 93.
Let's see, hold on. Why can't I go straight to Murder, She Wrote?
I don't know.
Oh, wait, there it is. Murder, She Wrote. 84 to 96. So, yeah, it was the last season.
84 to 96. Jesus Christ.
I remember watching that, too, back in the day.
Oh, I used to watch it all the time.
I believe that is all of our Murder, She Wrote this week. So we've got a hat trick for the Monster, She Wrote segment. Yeah. Aside from that, I mean, she, like, a lot of the people in this movie were doing really good on the one-offs, it looks like. Magnum P.I., Scarecrow and Mrs. King. She was in a Perry Mason TV movie. Dynasty, Moonlighting.
So what you're telling me is that if there was a show on in the 80s, somebody from this movie was in it.
Pretty much. She was also in Silk Stockings.
Ooh, steamy. I still haven't found where I can watch that. I'm gonna start watching that fucking show. Out of my own morbid curiosity.
She did some a lot of stuff in the 90s too. Jesus.
Yeah.
Frasier, The George Carlin Show, Home Improvement.
I forgot George Carlin had a show.
Yeah, that was maybe like 2 seasons at most.
Something like that.
94 to 95, so like 1 season.
Could have been 2, depending on when it landed during the year.
Chicago Hope, ER, The Practice, Judging Amy, Boston Public. She played the Queen of England on the Preacher Show TV series a couple of years ago.
I had so much hope for that, and it let me down so bad.
Yeah, I liked the first season.
Yep, that's it.
And then, the second season, once they get to New Orleans, the fucking show just hits a wall.
Yeah.
And it never recovers from that fucking rut that it gets itself into in New Orleans.
That comic was so fucking good.
Yeah, I haven't read those since like the late 90s, maybe early 2000s.
Oh, man.
I gotta refamiliarize myself.
You have to set aside the amount of cheese and edgelord shit that Garth Ennis puts in his books.
Yeah.
But then just go hog wild, because it's so fun.
It looks like she was just in the most recent series of Ozark. So she's still putting out the work.
I haven't seen Ozark, but I hear it's amazing.
It is very good.
Like, Stephen King loves that fucking show.
My initial impression was that, like, oh, it's just going to be like a ripoff of Breaking Bad. And, like, I can see that, but it's really not. It's its own thing.
Yeah.
I just blew through this newest, like, half season. Like, it's a really good show. I definitely give my seal of approval.
All right.
Alright, we are almost Hellhole. Why did I pull this up? But now I am interested.
Hellhole?
I don't remember. I must have like done this accidentally. But somewhere along the line. Oh, because you mentioned Hellhole, didn't you? No. That was Hellbound.
Hellbound.
I don't know how I opened this, but like...
I don't know.
A, I'm interested. B, we're going to have to do an episode on this now.
Oh, really? Give me the plot synopsis.
Or actually, no, maybe not. It doesn't look too monstery.
Oh,
a young woman becomes amnesiac after an attack by a hired killer. She's admitted to a mental asylum run by a ruthless doctor who experiments on her patients with a lethal drug. And her attacker just got employed there. All right.
No, thank you.
Let me close that. I don't know where that came from, but
I don't know.
all right. Last one here. Mike Johnson.
That sounds like a fake
He has
name.
done very, very generic. He is mostly a stuntman, including some of the movies he's been in. They Live, Inner Space, Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie, Firestarter. He has 84 stunt credits. This dude is still doing stunts to this day. He was
Jesus
just in
Christ.
Shang-Chi last year. He was in the last Mission Impossible, it looks like.
I wonder if he's just like
I'm
a
sorry.
stunt coordinator on those and not actually doing stunts.
No. Stunt performer in Shang-Chi.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Who was he
San
in this?
Francisco unit. He was, good question.
One of the bikers, maybe.
Probably. I think so. That's why he's at the end of the thing. Yeah, Biker at Cafe. I think he was the, not like the head biker that was in the diner with him, but the other guy who was in the diner with him.
Oh, okay.
His first movie is The Towering Inferno.
Good movie.
1974. Yeah, I used to watch that a lot when I was a kid. My best friend's dad was a fireman, so we always watched The Towering Inferno and played the Atari game quite a bit. He's in the 1990 Captain America movie, which is terrible.
Ooh.
Yeah. He is in Pumpkinhead 2, Blood Wings.
Okay.
Yeah.
The title is so good.
As far as he has some stunts in Escape from New York.
Sick.
Yeah. That's where I clicked Hellhole. Apparently, was in his. He's in Commando. He's in First Blood Part 2. He's in Cobra, which, as far as cheesy 80s action movies, fucking chef's kiss.
It's top 5 at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crimes and disease.
I'm the Cure. He's in Near Dark. Does some stunts in that.
Love that movie.
They Live. He does stunts for. I think we mentioned that. RoboCop 3. So he does pretty well known stunt coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Still up until this day. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, he's got to be in his 70s.
Yeah, his first.
Closing in on 70.
His first stunt credit is 1972, The Poseidon Adventure.
Oh shit! So he was in the Poseidon Adventure and Towering Inferno.
Yeah, those are his first 2 credits, actually.
Those were gigantic fucking movies, too.
Yeah. He's Robert Wagner's stunt double in the Towering Inferno.
No shit.
He's in 1941 also, the Steven Spielberg kind of flop.
Kind of. Yeah, Spielberg doesn't really have flops. He has ones that are just not as successful as everything else.
Yeah. That one just I haven't tried to watch it in a while, but I remember it being barely watchable.
Yeah.
And AI, of course, is famously horrible.
Yeah.
In my opinion, anyway.
At that point, his head was planted firmly up his own ass.
Yeah.
He was just
the importance of having people in your life who will tell you no.
Yeah, he was sniffing his own farts all day.
So that'll do it for the Better Known As.
On to the crapshoot?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know, like I said before, I was pleasantly, I won't say I absolutely 100% enjoyed this movie, but
Yeah.
it wasn't horrible. It was, I was expecting, just
Oh,
bottom of the barrel.
You were dreading watching this fucking movie.
Yeah. I was absolutely why don't we do something else? Are you sure we want to watch this?
There were hard suggestions. Oh, I guess we just skip it this week, huh?
Yeah.
Well.
Oh, darn, it's not on Prime anymore. Shit.
At least we didn't have to rent it. You didn't spend money on this movie.
They have to pay for this.
That would have been a hard no, I think.
But I would have been angrier that I paid for the stuff.
Oh,
Or,
yeah.
You know, yeah. At least they didn't pay for Ghoulies. Thank
Oh,
God.
my God. Yeah, what's the return policy on renting movies from Prime?
Digital rentals. Yeah.
Like, give me my money back and take all memory of this movie, please.
But yeah, like you were saying earlier, it's kind of hard to justify like the monster aspect of this. I mean, they've got it there, but they didn't like lean into it, despite what they claim.
Yeah, they kind of set it up as more monstery, and it's more just guy with drugs on him.
Yeah, it's more your standard like sheriff kicking ass like 70s action movie. You know,
Yeah,
more than anything else.
Which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not. It's not how it presented itself, and that's kind of a letdown.
Yeah, I mean, they could have gone hardcore into the monster aspect with the super killer.
Yeah, they didn't need Chuck Norris to throw a single kick in this movie. He could have played straight up and down cop, and he's done it.
Yeah, I mean,
he's done it. He can do it,
especially when you think about the fact that like whatever he does to him isn't going to affect him in any way. You know?
Yeah. Like
they're
the fight scene at the end was really well done. I mean, the bar fight was fun to watch, and the way this movie was like tracked out, it needed something there. But if they paid more attention to the science and the monstery elements to it, it wouldn't have had that big blank space in Act 2 that it needed to be filled with a bar fight.
Yeah, I mean, like you could have had Chuck Norris encounter, you know, the quote unquote monster in Act 2 instead of going to the biker bar. That would have made a lot more sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said earlier, they could have played up like a really cool cat and mouse thing through this whole movie, but they left them too separate for too long.
Yeah.
Though I did like watching him throw him down a well. That was fun.
You liked what?
I did like watching him throw him down a well. That was pretty fun.
Oh yeah. I immediately knew as soon as he went to the well, I'm like, there's no way, like that'll keep him. Like, I mean, sure, it'll be a tough climb to get out, but like,
yeah,
that water is going somewhere. Like, I don't know if he can survive a drowning. Like, if he really just fucking goes underwater, he's guaranteed to wash up somewhere eventually. You know?
Yeah.
And sure enough, we get the Friday the 13th ending with him springing out of the water.
Yeah, and they said it. They ended it like that with specifically so they could have the potential for a sequel, and then they just either didn't think it was going to be financially viable or didn't want to do another one. Either way, I'm glad they didn't, because it just would have been more of the same, I think.
Yeah. Not one person in this movie thinks of like, hey, maybe we should shoot this guy in the head, or I don't know, let's cut his head off.
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
I'm sure that'll stop him. Like,
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Especially the doctor who knows that, you know, he's just going to survive all these wounds, shoots him in the chest.
Yeah.
Like, he's already survived that. Like, what are you doing? Shoot him in the brain.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know. Overall, like I said, I was expecting just the absolute worst, and I can't say that we got that. It was okay.
No, you got a mediocre cop drama mixed with a mediocre sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
But some of the shot setups are really cool. Like it's not.
Yeah, I like.
It's not poorly made.
In the beginning, where they show where Chuck Norris goes into the house, I thought that was a really good scene because it's like almost it's his point of view, and he's like you can see his gun, and he's just kind of like slowly like moving through the house. Like I thought that was a really good setup. That was a really like tense scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like it's like I said, I really can't say anything else other than it's better than I expected it to be.
It is a solid 5.
It earned every one of those 5 points.
Yep. Oh, man. I don't know. And it could be us coming from a point of seeing superior movies that came out afterwards or Well, actually, a lot of superior movies came out before this too. But
yeah, we are spoiled with like modern, I don't want to say technology, but like just modern,
just advances in filmmaking.
Yeah, advances. That's it. Yeah.
But whatever, it was fun enough. I don't hate that I watched this movie.
Yeah, pleasant surprise, we'll say.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of made me want to watch other Chuck Norris movies, though. So, I guess there's that.
I don't know if I'm there.
Oh, no?
I don't know if I'm there.
I do love a Chuck Norris movie. That was my jam for a long time, was just shitty martial arts movies.
Yeah, I have been in the in the mood to watch, like, some kung fu movies. Like, I haven't seen it like a good. See, the last kung fu movie I watched was when we did it like on a Sunday night, like a while back.
Oh, really? I've been kind of watching quite a bit of like Shaw Brothers old kung fu flicks lately.
Oh, nice.
And so I think I'm in the mood for something a little more modern.
Oh, yeah. It's like a couple weeks ago you mentioned that you were watching, you started watching the Wu-Tang show. I'm like, oh, fuck, I wanted to watch that. So I started watching it, and like that's why I've been in that mood. Like, I want to watch some karate movies. Like, I'm listening to a lot of Wu-Tang lately.
Yeah, that'll do it. That show's really good too.
Yeah, I am enjoying. I'm almost done with the second season. Like the majority of my afternoon today was playing Ghost of Tsushima and listening to Wu-Tang Clan. Like they blend together perfectly.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say it. The most Wu-Tang album that is not officially Wu-Tang would be Liquid Swords.
Liquid Swords?
Yep. By Jizza.
Alright, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the movie that he made, The Man with the Iron Fist?
Oh, that's the RZA. But yes, I did.
Oh, yeah. Gee, I was half paying attention.
Yep.
Yeah,
I didn't see the second one. I didn't see the second one.
Yeah, I do want to see it, but I remember the first one just being like,
It felt like a crappy tournament fighter video game turned into a movie. You know, like Tekken?
Yeah. Exactly, yeah.
Or perhaps Street Fighter.
Oh, man. But yeah, I've 100% been in like a martial art movie.
Yeah. It's just a particular itch that nothing else can scratch.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what service I was watching. Like, there's a ton of them on Pluto, maybe? Or Tubi. Right. Tubi has a shit ton of them, too.
I was going to say, I bet you the free services have, like, a lot of them.
Yeah. Yeah, all those like, classic Shaw Brothers.
I don't even want to say there's some on, like, Prime and Netflix, too.
Oh, there is. They're just harder to find, I think. Like Flying Guillotine, and I think there's like 3 36 Chambers movies that are on Tubi.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
I definitely got to check that out then.
I love the first one.
Second, it'll be tomorrow. I think.
Second one's not that great, but what else is on there? 5 Deadly Venoms.
I think I've seen that one.
That's the one where there's the Venom mob. There's like 5 or 6 actors who they refer to as the Venom mob because of the 5 Deadly Venoms. They're like reoccurring characters through some of those old movies.
Yeah.
Those old like Shawscope or whatever. I tried to find 5 Element Ninjas. Or I think the American release was like Super Ninjas or whatever. That was the one we watched on one of those Sunday nights.
Yeah, it was
like the super gory one.
On something.
I couldn't find it to save my life, so I don't know if it's not on anything anymore or if it's maybe like a paid service thing.
Yeah, maybe it was Prime or.
Oh no! You know what? Because I had to pirate that one.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
I could have swore I saw it on like Netflix though, or something.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah,
but yeah, there's a ton of them out there. I wonder if we can find an old kung fu flick that has monsters in it.
Ooh. That is an intriguing proposition right there.
Certainly is.
I'm pretty sure we could find something.
Yeah. Well, if anybody out there knows of a 70s, 80s era kung fu flick with monsters in it, you can email us that suggestion at bigdumbmonsters@gmail.com. Please continue listening to us on our website, www.bigdumbmonsterspodcast.com. We're on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you're listening. If you can rate and review, all that good shit. Send us some tweets at dumb_monsters. And if you want to find us on Facebook, it's Big Dumb Monsters Pod.
Don't forget you can check us out on YouTube on the Big Dumb Monsters channel, as well as Instagram at big_dumb_monsters.
Yep. And I think with that, we're going to get the hell out of here.
Yeah. This was our first remote show in a long time. So
yeah. Goddamn COVID.
That's why we were kind of stepping over each other for a good portion of the show.
Yep.
We're getting our footing again after being in the studio for so long, but we're back next week in studio.
Yeah. It's going to be an extra special episode.
Yes.
And you'll find out